Tsunami is a Japanese word for great wave, caused by earthquakes under the sea.
These were the devastating scenes following the tsunami that struck parts of Asia on Boxing Day last year.
Earthquakes on land are equally destructive, and Japan is rocked by over 1,000 of them every year.
Now, because earthquakes are a part of everyday life here in Japan, people carry around with them earthquake packs containing things like blankets, whistles, food. So I'm out doing a bit of shopping for the other three, just to help us with our travels, just in case. 4 bivouac sacks to keep us warm if we're stuck out in the open. Oh, here we go. There's a little portable stove. I think one will do for the 4 of us. Not really sure what they are, but I'm going to have 4.
While Matt stocked up, I joined a local class to see how they prepare for an earthquake.
Just like we have fire drills in the UK, Japanese children have earthquake drills to make sure they know exactly what to do when a quake strikes. I don't think this desk was designed for someone as big as me. But most important thing to do is protect the head. Right, the teacher's just opening the windows and the doors. Imagine doing this for real, very, very scary.
Our seat cushions doubled up as hats to protect our heads, and although we looked a little silly, they do the job.
I'm out of here. As you can see, everything happens so quickly, but the most important thing to do is not panic.
Earthquakes often strike without warning, so many cities also have earthquake simulators where you can safely practice for an emergency.
I'm opening the door, put the door stop in as well, so we can get out after the earthquake. And then the boiling water's been taken off the stove, the gas has been turned off, and then it's under the table and hope we don't get injured. All we can do now is wait. All right, guys? Good? Okay? Whoa. There you go.
Although the Japanese are geared up for earthquake survival, nothing could have prepared them for what happened on the 17th of January 1995.
While most people slept, the city of Kobe was shaken by a massive quake. It destroyed hundreds of buildings, and 6,500 people were killed. One of the most amazing stories from that day is of local bus driver Mr. Fukumoto.
神戸の神戸駅を送るのに近くまで3人の女性が乗ってました。
Okay, well, Mr. Fukumoto was just explaining to me that there were 4 people on the bus, 3 passengers and himself, when they arrived on the outskirts of Kobe. So, what happened next?
近くまで行くとね、稲光が光ったんですよ。地震のそのちょっと前にね。
The road started to wave this way, and after that, it then started to wave like that. Then all of a sudden, the road just collapses away, just drops completely, and the bus was just hovering like this at the end. So he then got everybody off the back of the bus, because obviously he didn't want to change the balance, got his camera out, went down and took some photos of the bus hovering over the end of the road. And do you have the photos? Dear me, suddenly it just dropped away. Very, very lucky man.
Japan has lived with earthquakes for centuries, and many stories exist about what causes them.
There is a Japanese legend that many earthquakes happen when a giant catfish that lives beneath Tokyo Bay wriggles about in his sleep. Every 70 years, he wakes up and causes a really big earthquake, like the one here in Kobe.
Well, that's one theory, but stand by because here comes the science bit. We'd come to a museum built over the actual fault line or heart of the Kobe earthquake.
Just below the ground are huge pieces of rock called tectonic plates, which are up to 45 miles thick. Now, every year these plates, which are pushed up against each other, move just a little bit, which cause changes to the Earth's surface.
When these changes get too big, the plates try and correct themselves with a sudden jolt. This is what causes the Earth to shake And that's what's known as an earthquake. Kazu Kawaguchi was just 10 years old and asleep on his futon mattress when the Kobe earthquake hit. Kazu was just saying that because the earthquake was so vigorous, his futon was shaking. So by putting the duvet on top of his head, it stopped things falling on him and kept him safe. So what happened next? They had no water, no gas, no electricity, so when the sun came up, Kazu and his father decided to walk to the supermarket to get some food. As they walked, they realised the impact the earthquake had had. The supermarket was destroyed, there were people on the floor protecting themselves with duvets, and loads of dead bodies all over the place. He said that he felt quite calm, that he was in a really bad dream, quite spaced out, but he realised how horrific the incident had been. But does that make you nervous about future earthquakes? He says they will come.
Due to that constant threat, Japanese engineers have come up with some ingenious solutions, which, in just 10 years, have transformed Kobe into a modern, sky-rise city.
Some buildings in Japan are designed to move when an earthquake strikes, like this one. It's the Kansai Electric Power Building, and it's designed around a flexible steel structure so that when the earthquake hits, it simply sways from side to side.
It's Kobe's tallest building and had arranged to meet the others at the very top.
Here we go, guys. Finish the shopping.
mate.
You've got one each. Connie, that's for you.
wow.
Geth, there you are. And Zoe, there's
These are
yours.
the packs.
And mine's on my back. There we go.
Okay, what have we got in here?
Tissues?
Yeah.
There's tissues. Oh, they're knickers.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Got some for you as well.
Very important. Chocolate, keep up the energy. A torch so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Well, I kind of sort of, got everything for all of us, so if we stick together, we'll be fine.
Lovely.
The Japanese understand and respect earthquakes more than most people. But even though they are destructive and unpredictable, the people here are doing what they can to live normally with one of nature's most powerful forces.
That is a brilliant film. It's so interesting, and I love those little hats.
They looked a bit silly, but they're very important. I tell you what was fascinating was seeing how people in Japan have adapted their lives in preparation for earthquakes. It really was amazing. Now, next week you can see Japan Expedition Special called The Land of the Rising Sun. And there's some great stuff on it, like when we meet a very human robot and Zoe and Connie become beautiful princesses for the day.
Still to come, I'll be helping to clean these little